I know. I love the blanket. It's like, oh, this is so you created
cozy,
such
right?
a comfy vibe. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Talia Reese, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I can't believe I have to do this again right now. Just for the crowd to know, I feel so stupid. My mics were off, and now we have to redo this intro. So you missed out on a lot of juice. And just saying, it's very interesting, honestly. So Talia, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, of course. We were just talking about your comedy career and how it took you 6 years to start making money. You've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. And you started you became a lawyer.
Yeah. That was before
the comedy.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I was practicing law, and then I had 2 kids, and then the level of practice that I was at, it was an all-consuming law career. I didn't really see how to do it part-time. I was a corporate bankruptcy lawyer doing all airline Chapter 11s. It's like extremely specialized and super all-consuming. And I didn't want to practice law on Long Island because we already moved to a house, and my husband was also a lawyer. And I'd always told him about my creative aspirations, and I always knew it would become something with comedy. I didn't know it would be stand-up because I always did plays, like Neil Simon plays, and then I did sketch comedy in college. And then one day, I was telling you, I was at a clubhouse in the Catskills, and I saw a female comedian just killing it. And I was like, I can do that. That's what I want to do. And so I signed up for her class in the city. I went a couple times. I got the list of open mics, and I started hitting them every night. I'd put the kids to bed, and then I'd head out to Queens, Long Island City. I'd go over the bridge sometimes. I'd be like, Greenwich Village, Lower East Side. There were so many mics. And then once you get a little bit good, you have like 5 decent minutes, and then you start getting on bar shows and all that. So I got hooked.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Were you not nervous?
Nervous about which part?
Sharing a very vulnerable story in front of a bunch of people. Like, if people don't laugh, maybe you feel like an idiot.
Oh, I thought you meant right now. I'm nervous for people always to know things about me, but
are you very
do
nervous
get used
in
to
the
it.
comfortable vibe in my office?
This is fabulous. And you being a therapist too, it's like something about you. I'm like, let's just tell him everything.
That's sweet. I appreciate it. Guys, sign up. Men's Therapy Studio.
That's right. He's good.
Thank you.
So, no, because I was very jokey. So I always, my style, I think, is very set up, punchline, premise, misdirect. Not that I knew what I was doing. Right. Looking back, I'm like, oh, I guess that tends to be how I conceive things. Yeah. And so I was always really just excited to get up there. And then you see a pattern after a while. So you're like, oh, this one always kills. This one does okay. And it's just so interesting. I just was fascinated by it, and also the rush of having the audience laugh with you. And it took me back to college again, where I did all this sketch comedy, except this time I'm an adult. I have my own family, and I'm alone on stage just doing my own thing. It was like so trippy. I'm like, I guess I can do. I wasn't thinking. It was the first thing in my life I ever did without a plan. Like college, it was always like, I have to get into a good college. And then, I got to get into law school. And then I got to get into this firm. Maybe I should clerk for a judge. And I got to get this apartment. And then with comedy, I just took a class, started going to open mics. And I consciously told myself, nope, don't plan it out. There's no 5-year plan. There's no 3-year. There's just I got to be on the Tonight Show by this date, or even is that the goal? Because I know tons of people that have been on late night and nothing changes. What is the goal? What is that? I had to let go of so much of what made me. I guess like always trying to achieve, because it's just not that kind of. Yeah, I mean, you want to achieve and you want to make a living and have cool gigs and all this stuff, but you also have to let go. It's creative arts. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's a blessing to be able to work and do something you love. Yeah. And that's it. And I didn't know where it would take me. I didn't know I'd even stick with it. And then now I look back 10 years later and like, yeah, I'm really invested. I'm really invested in this.
I find it so cool and so admirable that you just went and you did this. It's so hard.
It
you
is
know?
hard. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, I started taking a comedy class now with DC Benny. I was telling you about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little
So
bit,
you're
yeah.
just starting.
I'm just starting. I'm really excited about it. So, doing comedy is a new venture for me, and I'm gonna do an open mic on Monday.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm gonna perform in Gotham Comedy Club in a few, I think in
Oh,
April.
there's a graduation
Yeah, my
show.
graduation show.
Yes, I did do that. I did the
nice.
graduation
Yeah.
show.
So that's really cool. I'm so excited about it. But one of the things that I wanted to point out is you were a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the world did you become a lawyer?
Oh.
Like you mentioned your early upbringing. Also, you were hilarious. You were doing a lot of things in the creative arts. I'd imagine that being a lawyer was killing your soul.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I really
Why'd you do
thought.
Yeah.
I just thought I could suppress that part of myself. I told myself, "You're an adult now. You're living your real life," and I really did enjoy law school. I always liked learning.
Sure.
And I was a music major in college, and
wow.
and I did comedy in all my free time.
Yeah.
So even though I went to Penn, which is like an amazing school, I was so artsy in my undergrad years that when the idea of law school came up, I was like, I kind of want to learn how society's organized and how everything works, because I never took those kinds of classes in college. I took art history, music theory, foreign languages. So it was like really exotic for me to just be in law school and learn tax policy, constitutional law.
It's so interesting to hear you say that, and I just don't understand it.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I would just think it's like you were so talented and you were so interested in other things. And I get like law is interesting in its own way.
Yeah.
And yeah, that appealed to you. But it's like, how did you do that to yourself?
I don't know. I guess I was also dating a lawyer after I graduated college, and he wanted to get married, and even his father was like, "Oh, I'll help the two of you build a law practice together." And I don't know. I'm also very open-minded. I think also what I've realized too, creative people are overly open-minded. So as much as I loved comedy and I wanted to do this or be creative, I was like, oh, that sounds fun. That sounds good too. Maybe we'll have a law practice.
Like you were open-minded and maybe like took an easy suggestion.
Yeah, I took an easy road, I guess, which it's weird because
it's law school.
It doesn't sound easy, but I guess easy in the sense of predictable.
It's like the safe route.
Safe. Like I knew I'll make money.
and this is what I kind of also want to point out. What's interesting is like, you could go to law school. You make money just because most people go to law school and then end up getting a job and making money.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier that it took you 4 years to start making a little money in comedy and then 6 years to really be making what you would consider a living. Mm-hmm. And that's me. It's like a bachelor's and then a master's, then you work your way up. Like do something, even though there's no cut out path, like you could make money from it.
It's funny. I never thought about it that way, that the amount of time I spent learning to be a decent comic was like being in school.
Right.
Because it's not like I wasn't making any money at it and it was all a labor of love. But that's what I'm saying. I let go of all planning. I'm like, I'm just doing this. My husband's supportive of it. I'm not going to question it. The law thing, it's like you're using your left brain all day long. And then like your right side of the brain just goes haywire and you start inventing things. Oh, imagine if there was like a choir right behind this wall and I heard like sound. I started going crazy.
In the law firm.
Yeah.
Imagining choirs.
There's and to make matters worse, I was like 2 blocks from Broadway. So there were like shows going on all around me every night.
So you weren't sure if you were hallucinating or not. Like
just like I can't go on like this. I mean, the money's great, and I love pretending. Like, I felt like I was acting the role of lawyer, and I'm like, I don't think I want to play this role much longer. It's like,
so funny.
If my life depended on it, I could have done it.
Sure,
but it didn't. So I'm not.
So I'm curious. Would you tell somebody else to like follow their dream and take their shot, or
if
would
you're
you say,
talented,
if you're talented,
if you're really talented, and if you like people, because this is a big people profession, whatever you want to call it, profession, job, the arts, you there are some like socially odd geniuses and they get on stage but there's, it's a community and people help each other. If you like someone, you give them a chance. You put them on your show, they put you on their show. And I think I do. I mean, I never thought about it, but I guess I think that is a big part of it. You know, you got to kind of get along with people and but it's easy when you love comedy so much and you see somebody doing it and you admire them, like you just want to know them, you know?
Yeah.
So I really think if you have a lot of passion for it and it's like the only thing you want to do, then you just do it. Cause you know what? You only live once. And even if you're not the biggest genius, you'll find your place.
Sure. Wow. That's really solid. Even if you're not the biggest genius, you'll find your place.
Yeah.
I love it. You mentioned also earlier that you had a job opportunity to join SNL. You want to talk a little bit about that?
I don't even know. I never bring that up. It's pretty painful. Well, that was when I was dating the guy. So I did get married once. I had my first husband.
And your second husband's a lawyer too.
Yes, actually, it totally just coincidentally.
Okay.
It just worked out that way.
Sure.
A doctor would have been nice, but honestly, I'm too big of a germaphobe. I don't think I could be married to a medical doctor. It would make me nuts. He'd come home every day. I'd be like, take off your clothes, shower. So I think it worked out. But but yeah, so we were. I was going to take the LSATs, and then I wasn't sure if I'd get this job at Saturday Night Live. So. And then they offered it to me because I was an NBC page. That's what I did right out of college. It's like all my friends were investment bankers. They went on to Harvard Law, Tufts Medical School, Northwestern Journalism. And I'm giving a studio tour making $10 an hour, you know. But all my friends were like, no, you're going to be famous. And, it's hard. I didn't see it. I just felt insecure and I'm dating this like really wealthy, good-looking guy who's like, go to law school and then we'll open a law practice together and it'll be amazing. And I loved law school. And then when I told him about Saturday Night Live, I guess I never really told him like my dreams and he didn't know that whole side of me. So he was pretty surprised and he said, listen, if that's your passion and if that's what you really want out of life, you should do it and I would never stop you. He goes, but I don't think we should get married because I don't think I could be married to someone who's working at nights and doing that kind of thing. It just doesn't go with me. And I don't know. I just didn't want to blow it with this guy. Like looking back, it's like, what did I want him so badly for? I don't know. And I was like, no, it's okay. I'll go to law school, you know?
Oh man.
And,
do you regret it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was in therapy over that for like quite a few years.
That you missed the SNL job. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Because even once I was a lawyer, I thought of like making a phone call, trying to go back. But I was already like 28 and making six figures and, dating again. I just felt, one day, who knows, something will happen. And then that thing turned out to be stand-up.
Wow.
I didn't know that the comedy was so strong in me, or like the force is so strong within me.
Right.
I didn't know. I really thought if I tried to push it out, that I would just eventually move on and be happy as a lawyer or just happy as a mom or happy as whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd become a college professor and something. I don't know. I just thought, and then it just, I don't know. It didn't leave.
Yeah. This story like really blows my mind. I think it's like you can't ignore your destiny, right?
I guess, yeah. It's really weird because from the time I started stand-up, I just felt like things just kept falling into place. Like one thing would lead to another, And then when I tried doing anything else creative, I was like, oh, let me write novels. It was such a struggle. I'd spent so much time. Then I did get a literary agent, then we got a crappy deal. And she's like, oh, just write another book. And it was like, I don't know, with comedy, it was like one thing would lead to it. I mean, yeah, of course there are setbacks and disappointments, but it always felt like an upward trajectory. So I felt like it maybe, this really was meant to be for me. It works. I feel good. Audiences get me. I get better at it's weird. You don't really set out to be a career stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And then one day you turn around and you're like, oh, I think I got good at this. It's weird.
Yeah, that is interesting. So I'm curious to hear your story though. being a comedian and a woman, and also being in the religious Jewish world.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's lots of
Well, it gives me a lot to talk about.
Sure, right?
So that's good. Well, you know, as a woman, just in general, in stand-up, we're living in different times. I mean, every other comic is a woman, so it's not like it was anything weird. I didn't talk about maybe the same, you know, I'm not dating and I'm not talking about my sex life to a large graphic extent. So, I don't know, but I felt like I found a niche fairly soon, quickly. You know, there was, especially working on Long Island, there's so many married couples and moms. And so all those jokes were fun. And I always felt like I had my own little take and twist on married life that was different than the other female comics. So, you know, that was always good. And then now throw religion into it. Nobody's talking about being religious and all the rituals that we do and trying to make it to synagogue, but I'm tired because I was working at a club last night. And it's just like a lot of wacky stuff that we do as Jews, as Orthodox Jews, as someone who's married to a really frum guy who I don't even know what he's doing half the time. I'm like, you know, why can't you talk when you come out of the bathroom? Trying to have a conversation with you. And I'm like, oh, it's a prayer. Okay, there's a prayer there. So I don't know. It's just like so many things. Once I started really paying attention to my life, I'm like, there's just so much absurdity.
So much material.
So much material. Yeah. So I love it. I love that I have the religion, and the super frum husband gives me endless material.
That's hilarious. Are you guys on like a different level?
What do you mean?
Is he much more religious than you?
Oh, I mean, you know, we're both modern Orthodox, but he's really properly modern. I mean, you know, I don't do shows. I don't work on Friday nights, and I don't really leave the house until Shabbat's over. I really try not to. So I really don't. Yeah, for the most part, I used to, and now I haven't. But I love it. I love the community that I'm in. And like even tonight, I'm like, I got to get home because I'm cooking for 20 people tomorrow night.
Wow.
And then I have a show Saturday night. So I like it. I'm a Gemini too. So I like yin and yang. I like Shabbos and then running out to a comedy club. It's just exciting.
That is pretty exciting. Yeah, very chaotic. But I'm curious, have you had to battle any sexism? And do you know Flatbush Girl?
Oh yeah, I do.
So it's interesting. I was it's very complicated, obviously. Like how do I want to put this?
Was she on your podcast?
No, actually, funny story. I invited her on my podcast.
Okay.
And she said yes.
Right.
And then she asked me to donate money to a a Beis Din. And I found that very fishy. I was just like yeah. She asked
like
me
as if like that's the condition, kind of.
I wasn't sure. Basically, I literally, like, I could show you the messages. My phone's being used for camera, but later. Really, like, I have nothing against how that conversation really went. It was like very fishy, but basically we were talking and she's like, yeah, sure, I'd love to come. Let's do it. And I was like, okay, great. And she's like, oh, donate $52 to this Beis Din.
Oh,
and send me a thing.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that's like, it's a reasonable amount, but I felt kind of weird about it because I was like, I just met you, like, I don't know, come to me in person, ask me to do it. Like, it was just a little strange that she asked me. And honestly, I wouldn't have had an issue with it, like, had I known that, like, she does this to everyone that asked her to come on the podcast. But Sonny Perlman basically told me that that's, like, she did the same thing to him. Sonny he's like a mentor of mine. He also has a podcast. But basically, I said something like, oh, I'm trying to remember exactly. It was something like, I'm not in a place where I could give money like that or something like that. Some just excuse, but I was like, but let's meet in person and we can talk about it, something like that. And she just she left me a voice note, like very upset, kind of like, oh, I don't want to work with somebody that that can't even give that amount or has that kind of, something like that.
Oh no.
No, it wasn't like and truth is, like, that was kind of a bad excuse. Maybe I should have just said, like, hey, I find it a little weird that I just met you 3 seconds ago and you just asked me to
how
donate money.
about, why don't we meet first? Then I'm happy to donate to whatever organization you choose.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear that.
Whatever, but not to slander her, because honestly, I think she's doing important work. I don't necessarily agree with the way that she's doing it.
I'm not sure what she does.
Okay, so what she does is are you familiar with what an aguna is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are lots of...
I was one.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Your husband refused to give you a get?
Refused.
Wow, that's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, I was very young, so I didn't really care. I knew eventually I would get it, but
this is the man you went to law school for.
Yeah,
that's so crazy, man. I'm so sorry that happened.
I wouldn't say it was for him. I mean, there
Right.
was a big part of me that really wanted to go.
Sure,
but his family. It wasn't just him. When you're that young, it's the parents also. 22.
And how old is he?
28 or 29.
Wow, so he was older.
Yeah, he was older than me.
Yeah.
We didn't meet in college. We met like right after. But the family was very, very bitter that I was divorcing him, and they just wanted to keep me tied. It's funny when you say they.
Yeah.
Like when you're older and married, it's just it's just him and you. But it was like his whole family like hated me and my parents. It was
That's
like
so bizarre.
It was really weird. But then I don't remember exactly how it played out, but one day it was like, okay, here's your get.
Right.
Done. Because what happens is the courts, they make the man pay like your living expenses when you're cooperating with that. So in essence, it really is like you're getting fined on a monthly basis. At least that's what happened in my. So I think he just got tired.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like paying my rent for almost a year. So I didn't care.
That's
so
not
then
terrible.
When the payment stopped, I was like, I'm not even engaged to anyone yet. Come on.
Oh, man.
But no, I mean, let's say you're a little older or you meet somebody. Yeah, that's really bad.
Wow. Oh, so anyways, basically, I want to get back to this.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. It's like ancient history for me. But.
Right. But long story short, what she does is she makes these protests and can be very vocal in the community. And a lot of people find that very inappropriate. One thing that was very infamous that she did was she instituted a sex strike. I don't know how many people actually fell for this.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, that was not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
Was that like a year ago or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
About a year ago.
Probably. Oh, that was her?
That was her.
Oh, nice.
So she said until, I don't remember, I think it was maybe until a specific person gets their divorce, then women aren't going to go to the mikvah kind of thing. So they're not going to.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so basically those that are listening that don't understand what I'm talking about, a mikvah is like a magical pool for Jewish women.
Magical pool.
They go in after their period, after a certain amount of days, and they're pure now, and they could be with their husbands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well summed up.
Thank you. So, long story short, if they don't go to the mikvah, then they can't be with their husband. So,
right.
This was, seen as like crazy and bizarre. And honestly, I disagree with it. I think that a sex strike is a bad idea. But what I thought was really cool was that she got the conversation going.
Yes. I agree. That was great.
Yeah, it was great. But this is kind of where I'm getting at. I think there are a lot of people that would say, and I think there's a lot of truth to it, that part of the reason that there's such a strong opposition to her and to her, like, because it's such an obvious thing that all the Jews should be gathered around. There are women that their husbands are being cruel and not giving them a get. And because of that, they can't get remarried and they're suffering. It's really tough. The marriage is dead for decades and many years and years. And, very often they're not getting any support from their husband and whatever. Obviously, there are complicated situations as well where it's not so simple where if somebody's just being tortured. But, the idea that there is a woman that is in that position is something that every single person should gather around, and we should not be enabling any man to do that to their wife that they're no longer really with. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
Right. So a lot of people will feel that the opposition to Flatbush Girl is coming from a sexist place. She's a woman, so kind of how dare she speak in the place of a man? You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
I don't know if that's true, but I'm curious, like, have you experienced, like, I don't know, you're a woman in the community, like, don't talk about the community or something?
Oh, I have to say, I live in a very modern Orthodox community in Great Neck, and I've had nothing but support from my comedy. Yeah. In fact, I MC my shul dinner. I've done it for the last 2 years. And I've done performances probably at every single other Jewish shul or institution in my town. And there's a lot. It's Great Neck. It's a pretty, big, full Jewish life, all sects of the town. I've been, every single one, except there's one Reform synagogue that I have. That's the only one I haven't been at.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And the rabbi is like anti-Zionist, so I don't really want to go
Modern
there
Orthodox
anyway.
anti-Zionist.
No, it's a Reform temple.
It's Reform.
So I'm like, I'll skip that one anyway.
That's funny. Yeah, but going back to you, did you have kids with that first husband?
No,
Wow.
thank God. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's why I didn't care.
Yeah. Why didn't you go back to comedy after that?
Because I was already a lawyer clerking for a federal judge in Chicago. I had this like kind of fancy law job, and I was getting all this respect, and I was meeting all these like new men, and I don't know, everybody loved that I was a lawyer. It was like so. I don't know. I love that attention. Like I'm still a performer who loves attention. And I'm like, I'm a federal employee, and it's like, ooh, that's so cool. It's so hot,
So it was fun for a time.
It was fun. It was fun. And then from there, I got into a big New York law firm, which was like, that's the dream. Because I was very invested. I spent 3 years studying, going nuts, taking then the bar exam and then clerking. So, okay, now let me experience the big law firm. And it was pretty cool. You're with like the smartest people in the world.
Wow.
And you're considered one of them. And my writing just got so sharp.
Fascinating. Did that help you write novels?
And that really helped me with comedy.
Okay, help you with comedy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like really becoming such a sharp, clear writer and communicator.
Because you're able to just like cut out the junk and recognize.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get to the punch. Like I don't like to drag out a story. I want it to be interesting the whole time. So I'm really big on word cutting.
I love that. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Tell me about your novel career.
Oh my gosh. So when I was pregnant and when I had left, I remember was I pregnant the first or second time. I think it was when I was on maternity leave the second time. I decided I was going to write my passion novel. Everyone has one book in them, at least, right? So I always wanted to write this story about a young teenage girl who goes to sleepaway camp for the first time. And it was just this like whole, a whole young adult novel.
Oh, wow.
And at Jewish summer camps, it was like funny and then heartwarming, and it gets her heart broken, all this.
I love this
stuff.
idea. You're kidding me, though.
Oh my God.
I literally have the same exact idea for a boy, though. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Did you go to sleepaway?
I did. Yeah. It would be based on my experience. As, yeah. I was a waiter in a camp for a summer.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to write because it was
Did you
just so many
fall
funny
in
stories.
love?
No. Well, actually, I fell out of love. But yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, and so I wrote that. I spent my whole pregnancy writing that novel.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh, it's going to be huge. And because everything had really gone my way up until that point. I went to a good college, and then I got this great law job, and I'm like, oh,
fell
of
in love
course.
in sleepaway camp.
Yeah, exactly. Got my heart broken. But
Very heartbroken.
I felt career-wise, I'm like, oh, I used to work at Paul Weiss. Of course I'll get my novel published. Like, of course. No.
Oh, man. So the first one didn't publish.
Yeah, I was told it was two adult fiction for young adult and two young adult for adult fiction. So it didn't fit into a genre.
Did you self-publish it?
I didn't believe in that. I just felt like, I know everybody does that today, and it's like cool, and Amazon does a great job. It's not for me.
All right.
So my agent, I did have an agent who believed in me. So she said, you know what? You are a good adult fiction writer. Just write an adult fiction novel, and then I can sell you. So I was like, oh my God, I have to write a whole other novel now just to try to get this career going. So I wrote a romance. Romance was really big. It was like right after 50 Shades of Grey became this huge hit.
Yeah.
So I had to write, she's like, it had to be a sexually explicit romance. So I did it under a pseudonym because like I had babies and I was in like this Orthodox community. And what if I wanted to go back to law at some point? So I ended up writing 3 novels like that.
I hope you have like a stand-up skit on this.
I don't talk about it at all.
You need a stand-up skit on this. Is hilarious.
Really?
That's so rich in material. No?
Well, one of them was a vampire romance. I mean,
wow.
it was really out there.
Did it do well?
That one did the best.
Wow.
Yeah. The one at the law firm, I mean, that one did I thought that was my best one. And it was like this forbidden love between a partner and an associate. But it was age appropriate. They were the same age. Like that just one that started law late. And it was like all around this case that had a lot of intrigue based on a real case that I had. And the title, check out this title, Conflict of Interest.
Ooh.
Because she's an associate.
She's an associate. I love that.
And they're like walled off from working together. Oh, so good.
Brilliant.
Check it out.
Conflict of interest, people. So you're so talented.
Thank you.
I'm so like blown away. I love this. Can you take me back to your childhood?
Oh, just I guess just your average mother who's the daughter of Holocaust survivors and a father who emigrated here with his parents when he was 9 years old from Israel, Baharian Israeli parents. So, but my dad, you would never know it. He has no accent anymore. And and he like kind of like poses as Ashkenaz. It's really funny. Like they live in Great Neck. All their friends are, from young Israel, Ashkenazi Jews. But I had this very colorful childhood where we were with my Bukharian Israeli grandparents every Friday night in Kew Gardens Hills for dinner. All my cousins are there. And we're having like Bach and Gotchkija and Oshbelov and singing. And we weren't religious, but it was very traditional, family oriented. And then my Polish grandmother on my other side, like the PTSD survivor, we'd have all the gefilte fish and goulash and what's that? The potato.
Kugel?
Oh, actually, yeah. No, it should be kugel. I'm thinking of the Polish one. Oh my God. Anyway, stuffed cabbage, all that stuff. So I had the best food from both ends.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like one probably contributed a lot more than the other.
I know, it's true. Yeah. I always felt more. It's funny I feel like your mother is the one that takes over. Like if you have an Ashkenaz mother, you're Ashkenaz.
And my kid is doomed.
Yeah, no way. Your kid is so not Bukharian. I'm sorry about. Even if she grows up eating pulov every night, she's Ashkenaz.
All right, I guess I'll have to see that battle.
It's true. But in my case, I think I was so close with my grandmother, my father's mother, and she was like such a Baharian woman. And I know I was her favorite grandchild because I was so like always performing and loud and partier. They're big partiers.
Huge partiers.
Yeah. Huge partiers. And I was such a partier and a dancer. I mean, I'm a terrible dancer, but I love it. I love being out late at night. I mean, stand up. I'm so much more of a night person than a morning person. So I don't know. I always felt like it was just in me more. And even my brother married a Persian girl.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because I have to say, if you've never been to a Bukharian party, go to one.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. We're the best.
Yeah. So I'm curious, you always had it in you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was just natural, or did you maybe use it to cope with something? Like
the comedy?
A lot of people talk about using comedy as a way to cope.
I know. I've heard all that. I think for different people, it's just different. I had, I guess by all accounts, a pretty happy childhood. I always felt like my parents or my mother really didn't make me feel like I was funny or talented. So I was always trying to prove like, wasn't that funny? Wasn't that good? Wasn't I good in that? So I was always trying to like get maybe that approval. My dad was always my best audience. He still is. If you listen to any of my clips on Instagram, you can hear my dad laughing above everyone else.
He's got that Bukharian laugh.
But that's the thing. And my Bukharian cousins, we get together, we laugh all day long. It's just like a big,
It's so fun. This is exactly like my wife is so blown away because we'll get together at my sister's house, let's say for Shabbat. And we're laughing. Like,
yeah?
Yeah, this past Shabbat, I was just there.
Okay.
And my sister told this hilarious joke. It was so freaking funny. Like we're all laughing about my mom. Like,
we all make fun of my mom. Yes, it's so fun.
Right, so I already have a high-pitched voice, but like to do my mom, You got to go like 2 octaves up. You know, you go and a bit of a Russian accent. So my mom's hilarious. She goes up to people. She's just like, "Oh, you have to be careful when you cross the street." You know, always saying like nice things to everybody. And whatever, we're making all these jokes about my mom, and my sister's like, "Dude, my mom doesn't even recognize me anymore." Like I was walking across the street, and I almost get hit by a car. Suddenly, I hear behind me like, "Oh, young lady, you have to be careful when you cross the street." She turns around like, "Mama? Wake up, Mama, it's me." It's so funny. I died right then. Like I almost literally just threw up all my food. It was too funny. But
your wife, she didn't laugh?
No, she did. She did laugh.
Okay,
but like to me, like all the box was kind of like threatening to come out, you know?
Love box. You got that is.
But long story short,
our food.
Right. But long story short, so we just sit together. We're laughing.
Yes.
But in my wife's family, like it's like so much more somber.
No,
like,
yes, they don't. Ashkenazim get together, and it's very serious.
Right.
It's what are you doing? What is your kid up to?
Exactly.
What are you doing this summer? Are you going anywhere?
Right.
What are you doing for Shabbos?
Yeah.
Who's coming over for Shabbos?
Exactly.
You're making the cholents. You need a crock pot. You can always. They're like the warmest people, but like it's all about what do you need?
Right.
Can I help?
Yeah.
You know,
We're just like hawking politics.
You know? Like, can you believe this?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. My wife was telling her mom, she's like, "Mom, do you know they just sit around laughing?"
Yeah.
Just laughing and telling jokes.
Yeah. No,
literally.
it's funny, and I'm gonna like lump Persians in there too, because Persian women are so fun. I did an event for a shul. It was an Orthodox shul, so it was just the women. It was all Persian women. Wednesday night, no alcohol, but they had gourmet sabzi, like bowls and bowls of it, and kebab and tadig and all that stuff.
Wow.
And they're eating, and then they put on music. And the women got up and they just all started dancing and they're holding hands. And I'm like, could you imagine a room full of Ashkenazi women on a Wednesday night? They'd be like, why am I here?
Yeah.
When is the show starting? Can I go? What's going on? Like, no one's going to party like that. It's 100%. So funny. Yeah. And I love my Ashkenaz. I love them. I love my friends. But we're not like a party culture.
Yeah.
Like we do fun things and we throw nice bar mitzvahs and stuff, but there's not that, you know.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
No.
I mean, just to throw beef at the Ashkenaz community, we're just better, you know. Bukharians, you know. No.
We're partiers, you know.
We're partiers, yeah.
I think we dress a little better too. Not me again. I'm not agree. I don't think. Yeah. I mean, you know. But
no, that's funny. I used to actually really care about my dress. Okay. And then I got married, and I literally wear slippers everywhere. You'll find me wearing slippers in the winter.
But this weather is so uninspiring. I'm basically this is UGG. Everything I'm wearing is just UGG. I just want to be
just
warm.
Got to keep warm. I feel that. I resonate with that. Yeah, Talia, I want to be respectful of your time.
Oh, how are we doing?
How are we? Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. That went so fast. It's 9:30.
9:30 right now.
But Talia, if you want to ask me a few more things.
No problem. I want to do a part 2 sometime. Would you be open to that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I want to have you back. There's so much more to explore.
I'm always around here.
Oh, yeah?
I love Main. I'm obsessed with Main Street, by the way.
Yeah.
I come to, what do you call it? Smash House Burger.
Yeah.
Like on my way home from comedy clubs, like I have to stop there sometimes.
That's where you go. Do you go to Sandwich Bar?
Bad. Sandwich bar.
Yes.
Well, what? Yeah. I mean, why not Holy Schnitzel though? Why Sandwich Bar?
Sandwich Bar is open till like 3 a.m.
Oh, it is.
Is Holy Schnitzel not?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if they are or not. But Sandwich Bar is literally, I think they're open 24/7.
It's so good.
Yeah.
They're both so good though.
Right.
And and Smash House, and I like even soy sauce. I'll get like the sesame chicken. Annie's is okay. And then that Japanese plate. You get poke bowls.
Which place?
It's like on the same strip as where I went tonight, Meal Mart.
Interesting.
I forgot what it's
I'm
called.
not keeping up
There's
with
just so many places. Naomi's.
Naomi's, yeah.
I grew up going to Naomi's with my grandmother. They have the best tahina, the best falafel. Pizza's really good. It's been around for like 50 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
My brother's wife's father made the mural. He like painted there's a big mural in Naomi's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So wait, how did you meet now I'm just curious how you met your wife.
How I met my wife.
Yeah.
I have a big bone to pick with the Orthodox community, honestly. I'm planning.
Is she from girl?
She's from, her father's a rabbi and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But basically, it's so tough dating in the Orthodox religious world.
Really? I
so
thought
hard.
it's like easier than
it's the worst.
secular because everyone wants to get married.
Yeah, I guess that's a huge pro. And yeah, I guess the intention is actually really good. The fact that everyone has good intentions.
Yes.
Right. But I think that the shidduch system itself, the way it operates, and this is just my opinion, but I think it's very cult-like. There's a
cult, did you
cult.
say?
Yeah. To me, it honestly makes me feel like the whole right-wing Orthodox sect is almost like a cult. I wouldn't go that far to say it, that it is.
I don't get it, though. Yeah. In what sense?
Okay, so I'll explain. Basically, the shidduch system, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but especially the more religious you go.
I didn't know it was a system.
It's a whole system.
I just thought it's just a thing you do.
Yeah. I'm waging. I've been trying to wage war on the system, low key.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I made 2 YouTube videos about it. The first one is my best performing video, like 14K views, nothing crazy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. But basically, okay. So to explain it very briefly, every single will make a resume, right? And a resume will just have your basic information.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
And then you give it to a shadchan, who is a matchmaker, and then the matchmaker will set you up with other people, and then whatever. If you like that person, the shadchan will give you that person's resume. Sometimes a picture. The more religious you go, there's not really any pictures. And then your family does research on the person and then decides if it's a good idea for you to go out, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I think for a lot of people, it works. Like I know a lot of people that they married the first person they dated or the second person they dated. Yeah. And it's usually very short. Like you're dating only like 8 to 12 times, depending on the circles.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's very quick, very intentional. I just think that because the system is so closed and can be like very intense like that, it just leads to a lot of superficial, quick decisions very often.
Oh, okay.
That, and it's so control based. I think like people are afraid to step out of line. Like I know I've heard stories of like parents that don't want to get a divorce because their child is in the dating scene, and if they get a divorce, people will automatically disregard that child. Like these are people that are staying in a miserable situation because like they know that everyone is going to, that a lot of people are going to not want to marry their daughter or son because they got divorced. You know what I mean? So they're staying together. But it also is the single too, like picking the seminary that they're going to go to or the yeshiva that they're going to, right? Staying and learning or not staying and learning. Like people are making major life decisions based on I want to get a shidduch. Right, exactly. Like I want to get a shidduch. But like that's the type of thing. And it's so crazy. Like for me, it was so hard because I was in the yeshiva, I was in Chafetz Chaim, and at the time I was like very religious and I was doing the shidduch system. And yeah, I just had the hardest time. A lot of girls just said no to me straight off the bat just because they saw last name is Koyenov, OV in last name. Like he's Bukharian, forget it. Don't want to go out with him.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's extremely, extremely superficial like that. And it's hurtful. And I think it's so bizarre. Like, and I'll tell you also, 50 years ago, it was totally normal for even in these most religious communities, Hasidic communities and everything, for single guys and girls to sit in the same table at a wedding, right? Like that was totally normal and encouraged even, right?
Right.
Or even like my wife's grandfather and grandmother were telling me they grew up in Borough Park. He's Hasidic, she's Litvish in Borough Park. They said, yeah, when we were 18, like young adult, we spoke to the opposite sex at the pizza store, and meaning like everything was appropriate, like nothing
interactions,
right? Exactly, interaction totally normal. But now, if you do that, people will you will never get a shidduch.
You're
people will be so afraid.
She talked to me in a pizzeria, that hoe.
No joke. Yeah. It's not a joke. And it's like people are really afraid.
Wow.
I think. Yeah.
Like that guy made eye contact with me. How dare he?
I'm telling you, exactly.
It's like, you know, it's like the opposite of my eyes are up here. Right? It's like, don't look at my eyes up here. Look down there. No, not there. Look there. But then you can't even tell who's autistic, you know?
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, man. Yeah. But yeah.
I don't know. I met my husband on J-Date, so I don't know if that would be considered the shotgun system.
So that's like modern Orthodox. Yeah, that's like modern Orthodox.
Yeah.
Perfectly acceptable to be on J-Date and saw you outside.
I don't like dealing with matchmakers. I found that what they try to do, in my limited experience, but they would try to belittle me to get me to agree to go out with.
That happens too.
Okay.
Yes. So the more right-wing you are, typically not in modern Orthodox communities. Modern Orthodox communities are more open, they're more open to using like YU Connects or going to
Oh,
singles
I've
events.
heard of that. Yeah.
Or like even in college, I think like modern Orthodox people are fine meeting somebody
On
right?
their own.
Yeah, on their own.
Yeah.
In the yeshivish communities, that's like no way. Especially the more religious. There are relaxed yeshivish people. I don't want to make it sound like they're all like that, but you know, oh my gosh, the more religious you get, it's like it's crazy. I think it's crazy to me.
Oh wow! So you were really from?
I was, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, because I didn't. The way I grew up and then became religious. I guess I consider myself a Baal Tshuva. Yeah. It was just. I thought you were really from if you went on saw you at Sinai.
Interesting.
Or
this is a whole other level.
I was like, yeah, those sites. I'm gonna stick with JDate and whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's all there was. I didn't even do the online thing. I went on JDate because I was starting to see it happen for people, and I was busy as a lawyer, and I felt like I knew everybody, and it was a waste of time to go out. So I'm like, all right, I saw it as a time saver.
Yeah.
And then literally the third JDate I went on was the guy I married.
That's so cool.
And then It's funny, everyone tells me years later, they're like, you got so lucky, you don't understand. That is really lucky
from what I've heard. Yeah.
They're like, you don't understand. I'm like, but I remember the first JDate I went on, the guy wasn't even Jewish.
Oh, wow.
His last name was Hirsch, but it was Hersh. Which I didn't know. I didn't know there was like a right spelling and a wrong spelling.
Yeah, Hirsch.
He was German kid, but he grew up in a community with all Jews, and he just wanted. He goes, "Oh, I'm just more comfortable with Jewish people," and I was like, "Okay." And then
that's such a catfish.
I know. So that was weird. And then the second one was just like your classic guy didn't look like his picture. I remember too because.
So literal catfish.
It was he was like really short and really bald, but he had all this hair in his picture. So I'm like, I couldn't figure it out. So I went back on the picture after the date, and he was outside, and there was like a shadow.
And it looked like hair?
And it looked like hair.
That's so funny.
But if you really stared at it, you'd realize it's a shadow.
You think he did that on purpose?
Definitely did that on purpose.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll go on one more, but this is kind of ridiculous. And then, then I met my husband.
It's funny. If I ever need to get back on the dating apps, I'll, make sure I stand under like a shady tree.
Stand under a tree,
Fill out this receding hairline here.
Exactly.
Right. Wow. So why'd you become religious?
Well, I was good at languages, so foreign languages were my favorite. So because I went to Hebrew school, not yeshiva, the big focus there is more on Hebrew language over tefillot. So I just loved Hebrew language. And services, were fine. I went to services. And I guess when my parents got religious first, and it was so beautiful the way they did it. Like one day I would come home and there was mashloch manot everywhere. And I was like, oh, that's like Purim, right? And then one day they had a sukkah. And I said, oh, people do that? That's like not just from what you read or, like all of a sudden all these holidays that I learned about in Hebrew school were just brought to life. And I thought it was really cool and beautiful. And then I lived on the Upper West Side after I got divorced the first time. And it was like a really social thing to go to OZ, the Jewish Center. And everyone I was meeting was from, like, it was like the only way to meet other single people was like to go to shul. And I picked it up really quick because, I didn't grow up with that service, the Orthodox service. The conservative is very... It's more basic. Like it's, I always call it like, regular versus honors kind of thing. Like the Orthodox is like the AV class of services. So I'm like,
it's a funny way to put it.
It goes really fast and nobody tells you what page you're on and nobody says anything in English. But I was so proud of myself that I could keep up for the most part because I was really good at reading Hebrew.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the reading of Hebrew and prayers, that's what brought you closer to the religion. Yeah,
I got really into the service and and I learned a lot of Hebrew words just from reading the English and then the Hebrew and the English and the Hebrew. And after just going enough time, it's like stand up. After like enough years of doing it, like I just like, oh, I guess I'm good at this now. Like I know how to daven. I read a book I remember I bought a book on the 18 benedictions, Shemona Esrei. Because I'm like, okay, so that's the crux of the service. we're going to break it down. Like, why do we do that? Why is it 3 times a day? And this book, I don't remember. I think it was just called the 18 Benedictions.
Fascinating.
And I just had a very academic approach to the service. And then I was making all these friends, and they were all so smart and interesting. And we'd all have Shabbos meals together. And I was like, all right, I'm in this.
Wow. Okay.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was really it.
It's such a fascinating story. It's not like I know like a million coming towards religion stories, but it's so interesting. I've never heard anybody say that it was like the prayer. If anything, prayer,
really?
Yeah, I think people find prayer boring typically.
Well,
Maybe I'm wrong.
now I mean, I don't know. I love the high holidays.
Interesting.
I really do. I like, because I know how to use the machzor. I mean, it's such a source of pride for me.
Fascinating. So like that source of pride that you understand and can use the machzor, like that connects you to God.
And I don't need anyone to tell me the page number.
That's so beautiful.
I can walk in and figure it out. It'll take me maybe a little longer than an FFB,
Right.
But one day when I realized nobody knows the machzor that well because you didn't really learn it in school if you went to yeshiva, and it's only once a year.
Guess what? Nobody knows it.
Yeah, I know. So then I was
I'm
so
sure you know it
insecure.
better than most people. Yeah.
Right. So I would ask some woman the page number. She didn't know either.
That's so funny.
So I was like, I don't know. I just felt like I'm always making mental connections with Judaism. And it's just like, as someone who's been out of school a long time, it's been a constant source of learning for me over the last like decade plus.
Yeah. And you love learning?
Yeah, I do. Well, that's why I liked law school. The practice of law was killing me, but yeah. I love Judaism. It's a passion. That's why I think there's so many smart Jews who are not religious. And I'm like, oh my God, imagine if this person got into it and learned the Siddur and the Machzor and all the Tefillot and Gemara. I mean, I never got as far as that.
How do you feel like it would change their life?
I mean, you have to have the interest. That's the thing. You can't make someone be interested in something they're not.
But let's say they were interested. How would that change their life?
Well, if they have the interest, it's a whole other dimension that
like
you just hadn't tapped into.
Right.
It's like it's history. It's connection. It's it's also brain teasers and logic. I just think anyone who liked school is gonna like chavruta.
Yeah, so it's so funny. I wake up at 6 a.m. to learn with my a rabbi friend of mine.
No way.
Reb Sammy. Yeah, I'm begging him to come on the podcast. He's literally he's first of all one of the funniest people I know.
Oh, okay.
He's also such a genius.
Okay.
Probably like the smartest person I know.
Oh,
one of the
that's
smartest.
so fun.
Yeah, so we like learn every morning. It's the best way to start your day. Just
Yeah.
having-
Well, that year I was a law clerk in Chicago. A friend of mine from Penn, undergrad, she was living in Chicago, and she was like the smartest girl I knew at Penn. You gotta know, there's a lot of smart people at Penn. I begged her to do a chavruta with me.
Oh, wow.
And so we did that. We did it, I think, once a week. We did Mishnah. And I remember we were learning about the Mishkan, why that's the very first thing we did. She chose Mishnah Shabbos. Okay.
Sure.
And I just, to this day, like, I feel like I understand the Mishkan, the tabernacle, like everything has a meaning, and it's just cool. Like I don't know. I don't know why I find it all so interesting. I don't.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but
Right. There's something that calls to you about it.
yeah. But I just remember I used to think I could get anybody interested in it, but then I realized unfortunately it's just like anything else. Like.
Yeah.
Somebody has to want to know it. You can't force it on people. For whatever reason, I think it was my parents really brought Judaism into the home in a beautiful way. So I think that was the initial inspiration. And then socially, it was great for me, to be honest.
Right.
So that was the... And then the tefillah, I thought, hey, I've been going to these reform and conservative services. I didn't even know there was such a high level... service I could understand. Like I just was like, wow, if I'm gonna be Jewish, I like to do things all the way. I'm gonna be Jewish, I'm gonna do Jewish all the way. Now some people would say I'm so not doing it all the way. But in my mind, I'm doing Judaism.
Yeah.
100%.
I love that so much. One more question though, actually.
Yeah.
How did you end up in UPenn? Like I'm just thinking like your dad is Bukharian dad.
Yes.
Daughter, Holocaust surviving parents.
Yeah, we didn't have any connections.
Yeah, how did that happen?
You know what? And my grades were good. I was in mostly honors, not even all honors. I really think it was the extracurriculars that did it. The plays. Also, like, you know, I was a musician. I composed music. So I see you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we should like jam here.
Yeah, right.
But I remember I sent in my compositions. Also, the essays to get into college, you could get really creative. So I did some wacky stuff with the essays. And I had teacher recommendations. They talked to, I think it was like the school plays and my music. And I had produced a short film in French.
That's so cool.
I just did all this
like,
random stuff. I don't know. Like,
who am I sitting with here?
I'm a Gemini, a wacky Gemini. I really think it was like just a wacky application that they weren't. And I applied early decision, which really helps a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Talia, thank you so much for coming. I mean,
Thank you.
I know I want to respect your time, and you know I feel so bad because we recorded a little bit before and it got cut off. But I really love our conversation here, and I'd really want to have you again if you'd be open to it.
Of course. Yeah, you're so fun to talk
Thank
to.
you. Yeah,
Thank
you'll
you
come
for
see my
having
stand-up?
me. What's that?
You want to come see my stand up?
You know what? I will try to come. When is it? Your graduation show? Is that
If you want to come to the graduation show,
I could, because I'm in the city almost every night. So, oh my God,
sweet.
I would
Yeah, come by.
totally swing by your graduation show.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but aside for that, I always end it off with this question. If there were something that you could yell from the rooftops that you would want everyone to know, what would it be?
Israel is right.
Yeah, we could end it on. That's a good close. Where can people find you?
Oh, yes. Please follow me on Instagram at Talia Reese Comic. That's my handle all over social media, my YouTube, TikTok. I got a lot of videos there. And my website, taliareese.com. You can always shoot me a message, say hi, like my videos, share. And that's it.
Wow. Yeah, I love that. Do you want to say more on Israel?
No, it's actually a very sad day right now.
At the time of recording.
But yeah, we could talk more about Israel another time.
Part 2, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Talia, thanks again for coming.
My pleasure.
Been
Thanks
great.
for having me.
I'm so like blown away by your story.
Oh, really?
It's a really cool story. Yeah.
It's just
You need to write a memoir, honestly.
I know, right? Wait, maybe. If first I gotta get a little bigger.